Welcome back to Walking in the Word Wednesdays. Before we move into chapter 4, let's briefly reflect on chapter 3. Elijah, a prophet in the dark. In chapter 3, we saw how even one of God's greatest prophets found himself overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed by fear, discouragement, exhaustion, and isolation. After Mount Carmel, he was hiding in a cave, believing he was alone. But even in Elijah's darkest moment, God never abandoned him. We learned that God still speaks in the darkness. He ministers to us in our weakness and reminds us that our cave is not our final destination. Discouragement does not cancel God's calling, and sometimes God does His greatest work in the quiet places. Now, as we move into chapter 4, when the Anointed breakdown, we continue discovering how God brings restoration. Let's talk about something that's often whispered but rarely admitted: breakdowns in the life of the Anointed. Yes, the Anointed, the chosen, the ones with titles, assignments, and spiritual gifts. Being chosen doesn't mean you're not challenged. Elijah was a prophet, but he still broke down. He wasn't backslidden or sinning. He was simply empty. He had stood in public but collapsed in private. He had slain false prophets but couldn't silence his own thoughts. And here's the truth: you can be spiritually powerful and mentally drained at the same time. Sometimes the breakdown comes quietly. You're still preaching, still singing, still serving. You're smiling but silently screaming. It's not always obvious or loud. Sometimes the Anointed break down while they're still standing, but God sees. He sees the cracks beneath your robe and the tears behind your praise. Instead of condemning you, He comforts you. Remember Moses, the one who led Israel out of Egypt with God's power? In Numbers 11, Moses was overwhelmed. He told God, "I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. Kill me, I pray thee." Sound familiar? Moses was God's man, chosen, called, commissioned. But he was tired, trying to stay strong while surrounded by weakness. Moses said, "Lord, I'm done." And what did God do? He didn't punish him. He said, "Let me give you help." God gave Moses 70 elders to help. God never intended for you to carry the anointing and the weight of the world alone. A few years ago, I sat with a pastor who confessed, "I had a sermon in one hand and a resignation letter in the other." He was dying on the inside. People praised his preaching, but he stopped praying. He felt like a hollow man doing holy work. One night, while in tears, he whispered, "Lord, I'm done." But the Spirit whispered back, "You're not finished, you're just in the cave." That was his turning point. He found rest and strength. Now he says, "My ministry didn't die in the cave, it was reborn there." Let me tell you something. God is not afraid of your breakdown. He knows how to rebuild you. The cave is where you reset. God reminded Elijah, "You're not the only one." The devil wants you to feel isolated, but your breakdown is making room for breakthrough. You don't have to stay broken. You can be anointed and still need healing. You can be called and still need counseling and grace. God never removed Elijah's mantle or revoked his calling. Your struggle doesn't cancel your purpose or void your breakthrough. God is saying to someone right now, "You're still mine. You still matter. You're still anointed and called, and you're coming out of this." Visit the Greater Hope for Life Ministry store for ebooks, audiobooks, and merchandise. Like, comment, and subscribe to help us share the word. God bless you, and remember, you're coming out of this. This is Joseph and Chiffon Ingram. Have a blessed week.